only two-time winner of the Lou Groza Award. Sebastian Janikowski of the Raiders. 98-99. When he kicks the football to this day, it makes a different sound. And now Hines comes further down to the bottom of your screen on 2nd down and 8. Driscoll, look out! Warner again. Some German engineering.
Yeah, the second time that he's beaten Chaz Green, the right tackle. He's quick, he's explosive, he's got his eyes looking at the ball. He just gave a little stutter step move to get around Green that time and gets Driscoll on the ground.
Not only that, Jeff Driscoll's going to remember that one for a while on the other sideline to make the play there.
This is just a play where you're going to give this big receiver a chance to body out the defender like you're boxing out for a rebound. He just never got off the ground. Roberson read the ball better than the intended receiver, Benjamin. If Benjamin jumps, maybe he gets that ball above Roberson, but he didn't jump. And Roberson knocked it down.
Hopkins 4 for 4 from 50-plus, including a 50-yarder earlier. This is a 53-yard attempt. Kick on the way. That's why he was one of our impact players. And a Groza Follis. 3 more for the nose. If Dunbar comes out, he's going to get the stare down. He got by Will Muschamp without getting the stare down.
There's just no point. At the end of the play, there's the late one. That's what got the penalty. The early pushes didn't get anything, but that last one, it's just foolishness.
Driscoll keeps it. He just doesn't have the ankle speed to get out there and make that play in this situation.
Not moving to his left and then trying to plant on that right ankle and either go upfield or go back the other way. That's where he has a problem. I think he should have given this one anyway on the read. If he gives it inside, they get a big run.
Yeah.
He tried to get greedy and make a play on the outside and ended up losing yards.
Matt Jones looks like he would have had a big gainer on the inside run. 2 minutes remaining, third quarter. -3 rushing yards. Turnover by Florida State. And everybody out to have a look at the senior quarterback.
Manuel's kind of carrying. Look how loose he's carrying the football right there. And at the end of the run, just the hit from McCray and Morrison, that freshman linebacker who's in, knocked the ball loose. McCray had him from behind. Morrison is the guy who brought the big hit. Wow.
And E.J. Manuel still on the turf here at Doak Campbell. And obviously concern on the faces of the fans and the training staff out there around the senior quarterback. From the 37. Fakes the end around, goes straight up the middle of Gillis.
Take the cameraman out.
Touchdown.
Oh boy, sudden change right there.
Great play fake on the end around. His troops need to get a stop here on 3rd down and 4. They force a field goal. They'd have an opportunity for a touchdown to win.
If you're Jeff Driscoll, you want to be smart with the ball. Don't force a bad play here. Settle for a field goal if you need to.
Hammond in motion. Driscoll rolls that way. Throws complete. Florida touchdown. Quentin Dunbar. To at least give their field goal kicker a chance. If they can get some of it back, but it's batted down by Matt Elam. And now you got to go, don't you? I don't know. You've got to get all the way to the 18-yard line for a first down. This is a bad spot. I mean, you've got a great kicker, but he's not going to kick it from 61 yards, I don't think.
No, if you only had to score once, you punt here, you know, but you got to score twice. But that sack was so costly.
So 4th down and 26. They need to get all the way down to the 18-yard line.
Game's over.
This is ball
More
game
likely.
right here, maybe.
Here we go.
Florida State might never touch it again. Manuel from behind, he's hit, but he throws deep. And it's by Benjamin.
Could have.
Broken up by Robertson.
Sharif Floyd was in there again.
Florida wins.
Hit on Manuel.
Sorry, Seminole fans.
This guy has had an All-American type season. I thought this was just going to be kind of like the Big Ben play. They just threw it out to see if Benjamin could go up and make a play. But for the second time, he never leaves the ground. I mean, if you're that big and they're throwing a jump ball, you should at least jump.
Now the Gators realize it's going to be 11-1, and there's hope to play for all the marbles. Unless Florida State's going to have a 17-point answer in the next 2.5 minutes.
Watch this, C.J. Humphries again, the lead blocker. They bring him in as an extra lineman, playing the tight end position, just drives his man, gets a second block on Jones.
24 unanswered Florida points.
Boom to the hay, all you sports fans out there in the Tubosphere. Welcome to the One Man Sports Rant. Gen 2.0. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN, and every other network that we cover, Sports Thrill, specializing in college football and basketball and all of the other sporting events in their singular nature, such as they may occur. Why such an emphasis on the college sports? I was a linebacker and off guard at the collegiate level, however short-lived, blew up both my ankles, never was able to realize my sports prowess, walked on in both events, but I was a non-traditional student, so I sort of screwed up high school, got my act together, got my butt back into college, and so I had to go that route. And I still suffer from those ankles. But the point is, I did not utilize my, stay in school, by the way, high school-wise, sports abilities to the best of their abilities, because street ball wise, you know, I got a reputation still back where I was playing. So I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm not you know, going through a midlife crisis either. It's the best of both, the maturity with still the physical ability and speed to understand it all, I guess. Alright, so you heard from Accept, the original balls to the wall. It's going to be able to lead into for the rest of college football. By the way, this is the shorty version. This is the post-review show. As introduced by our Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts, U of U chapter, Alpha Tau, giving you props. Alright, so what do I mean by all this? You know, if you saw on the timestamp this video being 10 to 11 minutes thereabouts, this is the post-review show, which is what I mean by those graphics that I included. Much like when you go to a live theater stage show and it's kind of sucking, people with class, you don't walk out on it until intermission. So I understand if I'm talking to only 2 or 5 people, because this show may not be your cup of tea, but it is the post-review. You already saw all the clips, you know, to the sporting event that we were discussing about, and I'm not going to get into it more specifically, because again, this is the baseline show, and I'll get into the legalities as to why that is in a moment. I did used to run a law firm, so to those of you still listening, stick around because you'll learn something about the particulars of YouTube. But for the shows, you know, 15 minutes or longer, it's a totally different intro than what I'm doing right now. All right. So why bother doing a show, you may ask? Because the ship has sailed, in the sense of just trying to piggyback on somebody else's network and going beyond the 5 to 7 minute mark and just trying to put that up as not necessarily your own, but obviously from somebody else. You try to give them credit on YouTube. I'm sure you may have seen this several times. Your longer clips, say like beyond the 4-minute mark, where all they're showing is like the channel immediately. That does not cover the legalities of it. What are the legalities I'm discussing? It's a little thing called the DCMA, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act. And the key tenets that we adhere to on the OMSR are, as they were hashed out through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization: fair use standard, minimal use, derivatives, and no money exchanged in hands. Of course, that last one's a given, but it's also important. But it's a given here because, as you can see, the OMSR is a pro bono production. We adhere strictly to that. And on that note, as well, all images you see on the OMSR, not procured or produced, 2-minute warning, so I won't go over on time, by the OMSR, were obtained through the public domain. So anybody out there saying, hey, Will, you're kind of using an image that we don't necessarily approve of, fine. Watch my dust. I'll take it down. Excuse me. Readjust it. The only sucky thing about that is you'll lose all the hits when you go to re-upload the same thing, plus the interest wanes on that particular event. But that's not important as opposed to what I just said. Alright. And on that note, this show is copyright to the OMSR. Brief video highlights courtesy to the networks already discussed through Will, the Alternative Sports Pro. The OMSR does not own these video highlights, but does own all the other original content and the overall concept herein, thereof, therefore, most rights reserved. Alright, so on that note, the 2-minute warning, we go back to our musical lead into Accept. The original, to the nth degree, balls to the wall. Perfect theme music for closing out college football. You got to play balls to the wall to get a winning record, to get to a better bowl, or BCS consideration. Alright, so pay attention to the end graphic at the end of the show. VAC chart from the state of California DMV. They will throw the book at you. Worst state in the union, or best, toughest, whatever you want to call it. You get a DUI. You can pause it, freeze frame it, X amount of drinks, your body type, no X amount of activity. Alright, thanks for watching. Later days, and only a few more college football plays.